Welcome to Positive Talk Daily. My name is Mr. Positive. Today on Positive Talk Daily, why the iPhone SE third generation is a good phone in 2025. First off, we're on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Mr. Positive Live. Click on the bell icon on YouTube and get notified when we go live and do videos just like this. Why is the iPhone SE third generation smartphone a decent pick in 2025? That's what we're going to talk about today. The positives of this choice being a really good phone for someone who's a budget consumer, because our audience is mainly budget consumer people who are out there not looking for the most expensive smartphone, but are still looking for a decent buy for a phone that's going to give you a decent level of specs, performance, and overall picture quality, and just an overall good phone on a daily basis. The iPhone SE third generation was released in the spring of 2022, so this makes it the third generation iPhone SE. There was also the 2016 iPhone SE first generation, then the second generation, which looks similar to this and shares the body of the iPhone 8, basically reshelled with a A15 Bionic chip. And this is a pretty outdated look. So a lot of people would be like, well, why are you still doing these videos on older iPhones? Well, a lot of people are not really in the market of purchasing an iPhone 16 Pro Max or 16, or maybe you're someone who just likes a smaller phone. We're going to go over positives of why this is such a good deal still in 2025. Now, the reason you're picking the smartphone isn't because of its high-end cameras or OLED displays, or the people purchasing this smartphone are going to be people that are really on a budget. Like, I'm talking maybe someone that wants to spend under $200, and this is a decent phone. Okay, you're getting 5G connectivity. You're getting a decent 12 megapixel iSight camera. You're getting a 7 megapixel camera, which isn't the greatest in the world, but it will get the job done for Zoom calls or FaceTime and things like that. And you're not going to get the highest brightness. You're getting about 600 nits of brightness, give or take the outdoor environments. If it's during rainstorm or at night, you're not going to be getting any night mode. So yes, this phone is missing some benefits. You're missing some portrait modes. You're missing some ultra wide because this only has one camera. So you don't get a second zoom like the iPhone 16e. So you're missing some benefits here. There's no night mode. So night photography doesn't exist on this device. But it's still much faster than some of the Android phones we're seeing on the market now, even in 2025. That A15 Bionic chip is giving you a 3.8 gigahertz chipset, so you're getting plenty of horsepower under the hood. You're basically getting an iPhone 13 and an iPhone 14 processor in this phone with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, it might not sound like a lot with a lot of phones coming with 8 gigs, 12 gigs, but Android runs differently than, say, iOS. And yes, you're not getting a 120 hertz refresh rate. You're stuck at a 60 hertz panel, but a lot of the iPhones, even the standard 16, 16e, all the way down to the 15 standard editions, are only running at a measly 60 hertz. So you're not really missing out much there. And, like most applications on here are running pretty solid. You can get solid performance at 60 hertz. You're really not going to notice it on a screen that is rocking an IPS panel and pretty much under a 720p or subpar 720p resolution. Obviously, if you're a consumer of phones that are $1,000, then this is the wrong video for you. If you're someone who needs 3 cameras, who needs ultra wide brightness, maybe you need 3,000 nits of brightness, maybe you need 3 cameras that do 4K video recording or 8K video recording, then head down to the S25 Ultra or head over to the iPhone 16 Pro Max for the best bang for your buck. Again, this is more aimed at consumers who are looking either for their first smartphone. Maybe you're, someone like an older person who needs a phone. This is perfect. Someone on a disability, something like that. I mean, you can walk into Walmart, Best Buy still selling these. Now, Apple has done away with selling these on their website, but there are still warranties if you're buying it through Straight Talk. And really, it's not a bad phone. Like, I can load all these applications, no problem whatsoever. This phone really does run pretty solid on a solid level. I can load YouTube, no issue. I can load, I can load Meet Me at a decent pace here. This is not a phone that runs slowly by any means. That A15 Bionic chip with 4 gigs of RAM runs great. Like, you get iCloud, so even if you need additional storage and stuff, like even if you need additional storage, it may not be the best media device because you're not getting, a 6.5-inch screen or 7-inch screen, or the 6.9-inch screen that's found on the 16 Pro Max. But this is the kind of consumers purchasing this phone aren't purchasing this to compete with an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now, under the hood, you're getting the same chipset found in the iPhone 13 and the standard iPhone 14 from a few years ago. So the chipset on here isn't old by any means. Apple's still selling the iPhone 13 as their budget iPhone, and this is still running that same phone, that same chipset. Now, there are obviously some cons to this device, the low battery life. But if you buy a new phone like this one's a new. Both versions were sent to us. And I didn't purchase this with my own money. These were sent to us. So I appreciate the senders who sent this to us on Amazon Renewed. But these are a new copy of phones. They have a new 100% new battery in them. So reviewing these devices are great. You're still getting a solid camera. You're still getting okay battery life. And you're getting the latest. And the greatest thing about this phone is if you're just someone who needs a phone and you want to be in the Apple ecosystem, this is going to get 3 more years of updates. You're looking at maybe 4 more years of software updates. It's already been out 3 years, so Apple usually does maybe 4 more years of software updates. We'll see. Apple's been pretty generous with, say, like older iPhones, like the XS Max, things like that. So this could get 4 more years of software updates. But you're getting security updates, which will be important too for another 4 to maybe 5 years. So Apple really does support these older devices for a long time. And you're still going to get, right now we get the latest 18.5, iOS 18.5, just downloaded yesterday. And it runs great. It even helps with the battery life. Right now my battery life on this phone is sitting at 95%. So it's not bad at all. Like, you really do. And the brightness isn't that bad. You can still at 600 nits of brightness still see this fairly fine outdoors. Now, multiple reasons why this is a good deal in 2025. It's a budget option. And a lot of the phones that we see right now, especially coming from Android, they're going to be great phones. But what phone in a, under $200 price range is going to give you 7 years of software updates, or at least 4 to 5 more years of security updates, and another 3 or maybe even 4 years of software updates? Now, yeah, this phone's been out just about 3 years now. Last month it was 3 years. Okay, so again, you're going to get 3 more, maybe 4 more years of software updates. Even Motorola and Lenovo aren't giving you. They release a Motorola device. They're only giving you maybe 2 years of software updates and 2 years of security updates. So, companies like Motorola, even Blue, the Bold Like Us company that sells phones, 1 year of security updates and 1 year of software updates. Something like this might look more, obviously this is like a really nice phone from AT&T, but only 1 year of software updates. This, you're guaranteed. You're guaranteed a longevity of software updates from Apple. That's why this is worth it. Now, yeah, you're not getting the nice big screen like here. You're getting a nice solid screen. Yes, you're getting more cameras, but this camera's still better. The main camera on this is still better than this. But you're getting a larger phone, maybe a larger battery life. But there are some benefits to this. The software updates, the longevity. This phone is still going to be good in 3 years, and it's going to run just as good as it does now in 3 years than this will be. And this will be obsolete and probably slow by then. This will still be running at a pretty decent rate, even though it only has 4 gigs of RAM. So there's a big difference. Now, yes, you're getting, on a larger phone like this, or a more advanced phone on Android, you're getting a 90 hertz refresh rate. So yeah, it does seem a little snappier at times, but that's because Android needs that. You need to have a fast refresh rate to run on Android. Apple's never needed a fast refresh rate. That's why you don't see the iPhone 16 getting a 90 hertz refresh rate. Now, there's talks of the 17s maybe getting 90 hertz or the 120 hertz, which would be great. We'd like to see that. But if this is all you can afford, I mean, come on. You really can't go wrong. The main reason someone would buy this is if you're looking to enter the Apple ecosystem, maybe to give this to a teenager, a kid as a phone, make it maybe an emergency device, maybe an elderly person's first phone, a grandmother or grandfather. The fact that it's still got the text button right there, that Touch ID. I mean, not everybody wants face unlock. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're wearing a mask, who wants to wear that? Okay, there are some benefits to having this screen. Now, yes, you're not getting the most latest spec'd out screen. Yes, you're stuck under right around 720p for resolution. Yes, it's an IPS panel, as they call it, the liquid retina display, but it's not. It's just an IPS panel. It's just a gimmicky way for Apple to tell you, hey, this is cute. It's a basically subpar screen. It's IPS. Okay, it's Apple's way of using that technology. A lot of the screens that are made here are made from Samsung, and then Samsung sells them to other companies, and then that's what you got here, a liquid retina display, as they call it. There's nothing liquid about it. It's just a standard IPS panel. Okay, but it works good. People aren't buying this. They don't care. The people that are going to be buying this phone, again, they don't give a crap about a 4K camera. Yes, it can shoot in 4K 60, but who cares? People aren't going to care if it doesn't shoot 4K video recording on the front-facing camera. They just need a phone. They're going to want something that they're able to maybe their family has iPhones and they just want something, especially an elderly person or kid or something. They just want to be able to do they want to have all the Apple ecosystem, the Apple Store, the Apple TV stuff. They want to be able to use iMessenger. This is a great phone. Okay, it also gets you in there for $150. You have this phone. You can find it used for under $100. Point is, this is a decent phone. Number 5, 5G connectivity. You're going to get 5G connectivity. A lot of these cheaper Android devices that claim to have 5G really don't. Okay, and you have to be in an area where a lot of these phones, especially this one here on AT&T, claim to have 5G. But if you don't live in an area, and there's a lot of places in Maine that don't carry 5G connectivity. So number 5, the fact that it has 5G is a big deal. And in a lot of areas, by 2030, a lot of regions, especially New York and large populated areas across the world, are going to be doing away with 4G LTE towers and replacing them with 5G. So you really need to think about having a phone that is future-proof. If you're coming from the SE second generation, from the 2020 version, or even the iPhone 16, the iPhone SE 2016 edition, you're going to want a phone that has that next step up. So this is a good deal, because if you're someone who's older, likes a smaller phone, yes, you could go with an iPhone 12 mini, which offers 5G, or you can go to the 13 mini, which is still a decent phone as well, and you're getting an OLED display and better cameras overall. But this is still a good deal. You're getting an entry-level 5G smartphone. It's not an entry-level flagship. You're paying the price, because the reason why Apple sold this not even 2 months ago at $400, $500, is because you're getting a flagship level chipset in here. And it's still considered flagship level to some degree, with Geekbench numbers in the 2000s and multi-scores in the 7000s. So this phone is still not a slow phone by any means necessary. It can keep up with an iPhone 14, so that tells you it's pretty good. Number 4, the reason that this phone is a decent deal is because of the software updates that you're going to be getting moving forward. Unlike buying a cheap Android phone at Walmart and you're going to be stuck, say, with something like this from Cricket Wireless or AT&T prepaid, you're going to be stuck with 1 year of software updates and 1 year of security updates. And after that, you're stuck. That phone is on it for the rest of your life. This phone is going to get another 3 or 4 years of software updates, security updates. So with Apple, you're going to be fine. Okay, and you also have a warranty once you buy an iPhone product, an Apple product, you're guaranteed at least a year or two of an actual warranty with AppleCare. So you're not getting that with the cheapo junk Cricket phone or something from AT&T. Yes, we've reviewed those phones, and they're decent devices, but this is still a much better option for someone on a budget. Yes, it's small. Yes, it's dated, but who cares? You're not buying this because it's got a 6.9-inch screen or a 6.1-inch screen or OLED panel. You're buying this because it runs well and it's going to be secured for a while, okay? Number three reason to buy this phone is it's got pretty solid cameras. Yes, it only has one camera on the rear, but that rear camera is the same camera found on an iPhone, an iPhone 11 with a much better processor. Now, yeah, you're not getting an ultra wide camera, but you're getting A15 Bionic chip power. You can also use portrait mode. Now, there's no night modes and things like that. And yes, Apple had to cut some corners, but you're still getting the full iPhone experience at a budget. And you have to take those into consideration when you're purchasing a budget phone like this. Number two, the build quality. You're getting wireless charging. Okay, so you're getting wireless charging. You're getting IP68 water and dust resistance. You're getting stereo speakers. So you're getting a flagship body. Yes, it's a 10-year-old frame, but you're still getting water resistance. You're getting you're getting wireless charging, which a lot of phones in the 150 range don't even give you that. And you're getting water and dust resistance, IP68 water and dust resistance, and it feels nice because it's made of Gorilla Glass 3. So you're getting a really solid phone here from Apple. You know you're getting something that feels good in the hand and fits well in the hand. And it's snapping, it works well. And number one, again, it's just an overall good feeling phone. You're getting a solidly built phone. Okay? The pros, budget friendly. iPhone SE third generation is significantly cheaper than most of the newer iPhones combined. And number two, A15 Bionic chip. The chip provides excellent performance, handling most apps and games, which is great. You can throw games at this. Now, we'll go over the cons in just a minute. Long-term support is mainly the number three reason you would own this phone is because Apple typically handles about 7 years of software updates. So you're looking at maybe 3 to 4 more years of software updates and another 5 years of security updates. So you can't beat that. IP68 water and dust resistant, so you can drop it in your toilet by mistake or sink and it's not going to hurt nothing. Reliable backup companion phone. You can use this as a phone that, for an emergency device or give it to a kid. They're not going to break it. It's tough. It's solid. Cons, it's got a dated design. Number five, dated design. Compared to the newer phones with OLED displays and 6.1 inches, yes, this feels a pretty much dated phone. Feels like an iPhone 8. Limited battery life is number four. Yeah, it doesn't have the biggest battery life. It's a 1500 milliamp hour battery, so you will be needing to find a charger pretty fast. And number three, there is no MagSafe. That is a bummer because iPhone 13 started the trend, or iPhone 12, but iPhone 13 also started the MagSafe. And I don't think this would have hurt the iPhone SE by having MagSafe accessories, but you can still buy MagSafe cases that act like, MagSafe help. There is no lag on this phone. I have not seen any lag. There have been people who have reported lag, but not too many people. And Android alternative. It's a great Android alternative. A lot of the phones you're going to purchase in the Android marketplace do not compare with this phone. Okay, yes, they may have a 120 hertz refresh rate. Yes, they may have a 90 hertz refresh rate, but they're still going to seem pretty choppy. And it's going to feel like if you're using even if you're using a 90 hertz or a 120 hertz refresh rate, it's still going to seem choppy at times. Okay, and it's not going to have the A15 Bionic chip. Okay, so remember, you're getting a flagship level chipset. Even though it's 3 years old phone, you're still getting a flagship chip in this phone. So this is still a very decent phone, even in 2025. For Mr. Positive Live, choose the iPhone SE. This is not a bad phone. Yes, if you can deal with a dated look and stuff like that, who cares? If you're just using this as a work phone, a backup phone, it's a great little device. I have 2 of these, and I use them every day. They are awesome phones. For Mr. Positive Live, I'm Mr. Positive.